Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you've stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a two-page scrapbook layout of some pictures that I took on our last cruise when we went to, the first stop on our cruise was Cozumel. We're going to use this new paper pack. Actually, this is a new suite. This is called Florals and Bloom, the paper is. And it comes with, the suite comes with the paper and two of these stamp sets, Stampin die sets. So there's the floral, the pretty florals and the sweet blooms. And they each have a a die set that goes with them. And there's also some pretty, what are these? Flat pearls that also come with this. So let's take a look at this paper. This is a really pretty paper pack that has all of these different floral pieces on the front. And then we'll take a look at the back here. So you've got some pieces that go with the ones that are on the front, but there's no florals on the back. They're all some other kind of, design. A lot of these look like pebbles to me. This one, I'm not sure. This might be a tiny little flower. But there you've got a nice stripe. This is really pretty. And these are all using the new in colors for the 2026-27 catalog. We are going to be using every one of the new in colors in this layout today. So I'm going to start by building on a couple of sheets of white willow here. And I'm thinking, so here's the pictures that I'm going to do. We went on an excursion when we got off the boat in Cozumel to a bee sanctuary. And I thought that these pictures went really well with this paper pack, particularly my son's girlfriend's outfit that she had on here. I think that really goes well with the colors in this paper pack. So I'm thinking, let's see, I really like, let's see, where's the one that I thought I could use? Right here. I like this one. So I think we're going to use this one, and I like the back of this one to go with it. So I'm going to use these two patterns from this paper pack and some solid that's going to be Strawberry Slush, which is one of the new in colors. Let me find my paper here and I'll show you. Let's see. Oh my goodness, why can you never find anything when you're looking for it? This is crazy. I thought I had it just out here. Oh my goodness, where is my pack of solid paper? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I've just got the 8.5 by 11 in the new colors. But I want to use, let's see, is there a piece of Strawberry Slush left in here? Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to use this to go with our pictures as well. So these are what we're going to use. Let me put the pictures to the side. Let's see, where did that other picture run off to? Here we go. So we're going to put these to the side for just a minute, and let's kind of look at this and see what we think. I'm thinking kind of this solid, or this floral paper on the edges. So this side, and then we'll do one on this side over here, same thing. And then I want some strips that kind of go this way. So I was thinking one of them out of this and one of them out of this. And then I will take everything that I do on this side, I'm going to take the same paper over and put it on this side. So let me get these cut down, and I'm going to ink all of them with the Strawberry Slush ink. So let me cut them, ink the edges, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got our paper cut, and I've got the edges inked on every one of them except this last one, and I wanted to show you what I did here. So I just took a blending tool here and my ink, and I'm just going to go around this. This is a really quick technique that you can use to kind of make it so that your pattern paper stands out from the background. So they call this edge distressing, so we're just going to go all the way around our piece here. This doesn't take long to do, and it really adds some, you know, distinction in your paper between your pattern papers and whatever you're using for a background. So we'll just get around here. I really like this strawberry slush color. I think it's my favorite out of the new in colors. And I don't know why, except I don't get to use pinks very often in my scrapbooking because I have all boys and no girls. And so when I get to use the pretty flowers and the pretty pinks, I really enjoy it. I think that's what it is. Alright, so let's get this put away before we have any ink disasters, because I am good at having those. Okay, now we're going to take these pieces and we're going to put these on the edge. And these, I cut these at 11.5 by, what are these? 5. So that I had just a little bit of a border at the top and the bottom. So we'll get this one put over here. And then I'm thinking, let's see, I've got this piece, I think, what am I going to do? I'll put this all the way to the edge over here. And I'll put this one here. I was debating between putting this at the bottom and then this at the top. And that's kind of how I was first thinking about doing it, but I think I'm going to switch it now because I think this is too heavy for the top. I think it needs to be at the bottom so it kind of grounds everything. So we're going to put this down at the bottom. We'll put this one at the top. So let me switch this side around. And we'll put this here. And then this one here. And we're going to leave just a little bit of a border, a little bit of space between our two horizontal pieces here. So we're going to do something like that. Let me bring the pictures back in. I think I want to put this one over here, this one here. And we're going to do something like this with our pictures. And then it seems like I have, so these are all the pictures that I have for this particular spot that we stopped at. And so I was thinking I need something over here because this seems like there's a lot of space over here with nothing going on. So I turned to my Cricut and I made myself a little honey pot, which I just think turned out so cute. And I took my Wink of Stella and I kind of stellaed up this and the letters to kind of make them sparkle. See that? So I think I'm going to put it right here just to kind of give this area over here something. And then let's see, I need some flowers. So this Pretty Florals die set has this flower that I really like, and I think I want to put like a cluster down here and then one up here and one down here so we can do our visual triangle. And I think I want to cut some of these flowers, and my thought process is to cut these out of white cardstock, and then it has this little inner piece here that goes on top of the flower. So basically it goes here. So I'm thinking do the solid part in white, and then I'm going to do these in each of the in colors. So we're going to do some in Strawberry Slush, and I'm going to use, let's see, the Timid Tiger, the Darling Duckling, and we're not going to use the Secret Sea for this particular. We're going to use some of the Secret Sea, but not on these flowers. And then the cloud cover. And this cloud cover, just so you all know, is something that Stampin' Up! Had an issue with the color, the trueness of the color once it got onto the pads that these are on. So they're not selling these to everybody. They sold them to demonstrators, but not to everybody. But you can still get this color by buying like the ink refillable. There's a refillable inker, re-inker. That's what it's called. You can buy the re-inker, and then you can put it either on the little Stampin Spots that we have, or you can, which I think is the best way to do it, just on the Stampin Spots, because those are made out of a different material, so it keeps its colorness, its true color in those, unlike what it did in here. So, but we're going to use it, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It may not be the same color if you buy the re-inker and do it on the Stampin Spots, but it's going to be pretty close. Okay. So we're going to cut our flowers. So I'm going to go off camera and cut a bunch of flowers, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to put them together. Okay, now I've got our flowers cut, and here's the solid piece. So I just did this out of white, and I did this one out of the Darling Duckling. And I'm going to put this on here like this, but before we do that, I'm going to do a little ink treatment on this. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I'll push this up out of our way. And we're going to get our Darling Duckling ink, and I'm just going to take this and, let's see, move this so we don't, okay. And I'm just going to take my blending brush here, put it in here. And this is what I like about having our glass mat. So I'm just going to tap off on here so I don't get any harsh color, and I'm just kind of going to go around the outside edge of it. And I really want the color that's on the outside to kind of be a little darker than what we put in the middle. So we're just kind of going to ink up our edges really good. Make those a little darker than the inside. You can just pick this ink up off your glass mat and just keep using it here. Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit more. Okay, so now I've got a pretty good outside edge. Now I'm just going to take what's left here and just very lightly go on the inside. So it just seems like this is a really soft, makes the flower look really soft and pretty, instead of it being too harsh and too dark. I could have just cut the flowers in the Darling Duck paper, but I thought that was a little too dark for what's going on the layout. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're going to leave it like that. I'm going to put this up. Let's see, I've got, at this point you can just take a paper towel and wipe off your glass mat. It cleans up really well. Okay, so we'll get this cleaned up so we don't have any ink. Okay, now I've got this little piece that we had that I cut in the middle, and I'm going to put that, I'm going to layer that right on top of there. And we're going to use our, let's see, our precision ink here, because it has this really fine tip to it. And I'm going to use my reverse tweezers, and I'm just going to hang on to this. I like to make sure that I'm holding it the way I just have to turn it over and lay it down. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue on these bigger parts here. And then we'll get this down. And I'm just going to put it, it kind of fits. You can just kind of see, it doesn't fit perfectly against the other one, but you can kind of tell where you know, it goes. And then just hold this glue for just a second so it grabs that. And there we go. Okay. Now, we're going to take our flowers, and I'm also going to cut some, I did this, I cut some greenery also out of that same die set. There was some little green pieces that we're going to use. And I'll bring this back up here. I have some other things I want to try to use on this layout too. You know, we went through the paper pumpkin kit from March, which was the Daisy Daydream. And I did a lot of alternative cards with that, and I had some of that stuff left, and I thought it would work out well on this layout. So I have some of these honeycombs that were in that paper pumpkin kit, so we're going to try to use some of those. And I want to use up the last of these daisies. But the color of the leaves that's on these are really too dark, I think, for the green that is in this layout. So I think I'm going to do some surgery here and cut these daisies away from these green pieces so I can just use the daisies. And you just take your snips and just kind of, you know, cut the green parts off. And then we can just use the daisies individually. And they're not too much green attached to these, so this makes this a pretty quick thing to do. So we'll get this. You know, when you're trying to do this fussy cutting, you don't move your scissors, move whatever you're cutting, because it makes it so much easier to stay just where you want it to cut. All right, so one more little piece here. Cut this off over here. There we go. So we can just use these daisies. So let me finish the daisy surgery and get kind of a layout, you know, our cluster started here, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, I finished the daisy surgery and kind of put some things on here, just kind of seeing where I wanted to put stuff. I took the daisies and I took my Wink of Stella and I went on the inside of each one of these daisies just so it gave it a little sparkle and shine. So I'm going to do this one here. So easy to do. I like this Wink of Stella. I Stella everything, it seems like. So we're going to use these daisies in each of our clusters. And I was looking at this and I got to thinking, I thought, you know, we've got all of the in colors here except our Secret C. And the Secret C is the darkest of the colors. And it almost looks black, but it's not. It's what I put around the outside of this picture as a second matte. And the story behind this is I, for the longest time, couldn't figure out how to make my printer print the little white border on the pictures. And I finally figured that out. But I hadn't already printed these three, and I didn't want to go back and print them again. So I printed these. The pictures were 6x4, and so I matted them on white. This one, when I printed it with the white background, it was 6x4 with the white background, and so it looked a little smaller than this. So I matted this on this Secret C to kind of make this one stand out, and also to make it so it was the same size as the rest of the pictures. And then, so now I've got that little bit of Secret C on here, but I don't have any Secret C over here. And I was thinking, okay, what could I do? I need something. So I dug through my stash and I came up with this golden greenery die set. And in this, there's one of these dies that has this really cute, it almost looks like hearts to me. And so I thought, well, I'm going to use this and cut some of these in Secret C and see if we can work these in. So I cut two. And I'm thinking I'm going to put one over here in this cluster. And I've got Secret C down here, so I thought this was too much. But I want to try to put one up here. So we kind of draw our eye across the page with the darker color here. And so, let's see, what else? And then, okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera and, you know, put some of this down and commit to some of this so that it quits moving around on me. And then we'll come back and we'll figure out the title and the journaling. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all of our pattern paper glued down and the pictures in place, and now I just want to work on our clusters. And while we do this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this story. So we went on this what do they call them? An excursion. And this was in Cozumel. And so our first stop on the excursion was this bee sanctuary. And we spent the first part of the tour looking at, they had kind of like man-made beehives that they had put together in these logs. So what they were trying to do was preserve the bees so that they can help them from not, there not being like a lack of bees around. So this is kind of like their way of preserving the bees. And so after we got done, I'm going to pop this little honey pot up here on some dimensionals. When we got done with the part of the tour that was to look at the hives, then we actually went into this building where we got to do this honey tasting. And they put you like at these, there was just like a counter here, and they came around and gave you one of those like little short, almost look like, you used to like get them with ice cream back in the day, but they kind of look like tongue depressors, but they're only about this big. And so they gave you a bunch of those, and then they came around and squirted just a little bit of honey on each one of them so you could taste them. And that was what we were doing in these pictures. The guy was explaining about the different kinds of honey and the different kinds of bees and the difference that kind of like the difference in the way the honey was going to taste depending on the kind of bee that it was. So it was really a fascinating tour. So when we were done here, then of course they shipped us off to everything exits through a gift shop. So we went to the gift shop where we could, purchase honey. And so I had to bring some home because I love honey. Okay, so I've got our little honey pot down, and I've got this little daisy here. I think I'm just going to put him right there. And I want to put this dark secret sea piece down here. So I'm going to put some of these flowers. Let's see, I'm going to use a strawberry slush one and a cloud cover one over here. And let's see, I need my greenery pieces. So we're going to tuck some green little leaves in here. We can make this look as colorful and realistic as possible, right? Let's see, where am I at? Maybe just like right, up in here. So we're going to do something like that in this corner. And I want to put my little honeycomb. I think I'm going to put it right down here underneath the edge of the honey pot. Okay, so we got that pretty well set. And then, okay, let's work on this one down here. So I know I want blue and yellow in this corner. I'm trying to draw some of this Darling Duckling color over here. So let's see. We're going to do, I think I'm going to kind of move this cluster more over here, only because I don't want to cover up this pretty pattern paper. And since we have this open space here, I think it looks better over here. So I'm going to put one of the honeycombs there, and we'll do our blue flower, our yellow flower, put some greenery in here. And let's see, maybe up under here. And then, okay, so that's a good start on that cluster. Something I forgot to tell you while we work on this last one up here is Stampin' Up's having a sale. I think it runs until the end of June on these suites. So like I explained in the beginning how it had the paper pack and the stamps and the dies and the dots that all come in that suite. So right now they're doing a suite sale, which is kind of like a buy one suite and get another one half off. And so it's a really good time to get these there's several of these new suites that are available, and they're all just so pretty. And it's a good time on the sale to get, let's see, maybe do we want to do yellow over here and pink there? To get what you want and, you know, and not pay full price. So you might want to check that out. I will leave a link in the description box below to my store where you can go and look. Let's see. And just take a gander out there, and don't forget to look at the online exclusives because there's a lot of nice stuff in there. Okay, let's see. I think that's not the flower, or that's not the leaf I wanted. Here we go. I found it. So we're just going to do some leaves. There we go, like that. And I need to put our secret C piece in here. I guess I should have put him down first, huh? Let's see. We'll get it in here. I'm just going to tuck it. Actually, you know what? I might just cut. We don't need this stem because we're not, it's not going to show. So let's just get rid of that so we can get it down. There we go. Down under there. A little bit easier. Okay. So I'm going to, the title that I'm going to use is going to be, and I'm going to cut these out of, let's see, I want to use the Alphabet a la Mode dies, and I'm going to cut my title out of some white cardstock, and we're going to put it up here in this space right up here, and we're going to go with, it's going to say Flavors from the Hive. So I'm going to go get these letters cut out and all of our clusters glued down, and I'll be right back, and we will finish up with some of these pearls. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got it all glued down here. Some of you might be observant to see that I had to move this picture down a little bit so I had room for my title. So I just kind of repositioned that down. Luckily it hadn't stuck too hard yet, so it's kind of a good idea not to press too firmly until you make sure it's all where you need it to be. The last two things that we need to do is we're going to put some dots on this and my journaling. And I just did my journaling on the computer, and I printed it out on white cardstock, and then I cut this with the nested essential dies and just kind of inked the edges because I'm going to put it right down here, and I kind of wanted it to stand out from the white background. So I'm going to put it on, I'm going to pop this up. I did pop up all of the flowers that I made. The daisies I did not, but the other flowers I did. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I took my Wink of Stella and I just kind of put the Stella on this outline here that goes in the middle, so it gives them just a little bit of shine there. I thought it made them look like they almost had like a morning mist on them. How sometimes flowers look like they've got little water droplets on them. So we'll get our title down here. And, or not our title, my journaling. Boy. Okay, so we'll get that right here. Okay, we'll put that down. And the last thing we're going to do is put some dots on. So let me find my, take a pick tool, here it is. Let's see what color dots do we want to use. There's one, all the in colors are on here. So we've got the Secret Sea, the Cloud Cover, let me put this back here. Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and the Strawberry Slush. And I'm thinking, I think I'm going to use the Secret Sea just to kind of put this little bit of color around here. So I'm just going to put like 3 of these in each cluster. So we'll put 3 there, we'll put 3 up here. Let's see, where should we put one? And let's see, right here. And one more little one. Where should we put it? How about right in there? Okay, that just leaves us down here in this corner. So let's see, we'll put, Oh my goodness, where to put it? I don't know. Put that in there. And oh boy, one here maybe? And one little tiny one over here. Okay, that gives us 3 in each corner, or each cluster. Okay, so I'm gonna hold these up so you can see these. See all the detail. And we'll look at the other page. Close-up view. Got our flowers. I put a honeycomb in each one of these and one daisy so that I could try to get rid of the rest of that kit. Okay, so that's all I've got for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I will be back soon with, I know I'm late, but I'm gonna start a alternate card series for the May paper pumpkin kit. So we'll do that, and then I have got plenty of more cruise pictures to scrap. So I will be back here soon. Have a scrappy evening. Bye.